Hello and welcome to ActivTrades Weekly Outlook. A massive week lies ahead for investors and traders, with a number of companies scheduled to release their quarterly earnings, as well as some highly anticipated monetary policy meetings and employment data from the United States. The world's biggest company by market cap, Apple, will disclose fiscal third quarter results on Friday after US markets close. Let's dive in. China's NBS Manufacturing PMI increased to 49 in June from 48.8 in May. When the newest data is published on Monday, expectations are for a dip to 48. Italy reports its GDP and preliminary inflation figures on Monday. The economy grew 1.9% in the first quarter of 2023. Quarter-over-quarter growth is forecast to be around 0.2%, while inflation is thought to continue its path downwards, from 6.4% to around 6.2%. Early GDP inflation data from the EU will also be published on Monday. Annual growth in the euro area was 1.1% in Q1. Slower annualized growth to 0.6% is forecast to the second quarter, and 0.2% growth is expected quarter-over-quarter. July inflation is tipped to be slowly falling in the latest flash reports, from 5.5% down to around 5.2%, and the core rate from 5.5% to 5.4%. The Reserve Bank of Australia will meet on monetary policy on Tuesday. At its meeting in July, the RBA kept its cash rate at 4.1%, having increased it by 24 basis points in June. The board said that it required more time to evaluate the effects of previous rises and that the nation's inflation had peaked. Analysts expect the RBA to hike again this month to 4.35%. The US Jolts job openings report is also due on Tuesday. Job openings dropped from April to May, landing at 9.824 million. While numbers are falling, vacancies remain considerably above levels prior to the pandemic, providing more evidence of a tight labor market and giving the Federal Reserve more room to continue hiking interest rates. A further drop to 9.5 million is expected for June. In the second quarter of 2023, the Swiss Consumer Confidence Index registered a value of minus 29.7. Q3 is forecast to show some improvement in the reading to minus 22 when the report comes out on Wednesday. The US ADP employment change report is also due on Wednesday. The 228,000 jobs added by private companies in June well exceeded expectations. 210,000 new jobs are expected for July. The Bank of England will meet on monetary policy on Thursday. At its meeting in June, the bank increased its policy interest rate by 50 basis points, bringing it to 5%. Borrowing rates are now at their highest level since the 2008 financial crisis in an attempt to tackle persistent inflation. If the current inflation pressure continues, policymakers have also promised to deliver more rate rises. A 25 basis points bump is predicted again this week. The services industry in the US had its greatest growth in 4 months in June, as the ISM Services PMI unexpectedly surged to 53.9 from 50.3 in May. July's national figures are expected to be published on Thursday. The Reserve Bank of Australia will publish its minutes from its previous monetary policy meeting. The minutes released on Friday will show detailed report on the meeting of the RBA, providing insights into the economic conditions that influenced the board's decision on where to set the interest rates for the coming period and what may lay ahead. US employment data is also due on Friday. The unemployment rate fell to 3.6% in June from 3.7% in May. The July rate is tipped to hold steady at 3.6%. Following a downwardly revised 306,000 in May, Nonfarm Payrolls showed the US economy had added 209,000 positions in June. Around 184,000 more positions are forecast for July, and the annualized wage growth is expected to dip slightly to 4.3% from 4.4%. If you would like to read our full outlook, please visit the analysis section on our website. That's all for this week. Happy trading!